the government. The government is a political institution, so the fast and prayer was called by the political institution. Having said that, let's talk about the relevance of the day, principally. I have always maintained that some of the holidays need to be erased from our Constitution, and that will require a period of time if the legislature, the executive finds it necessary, and it goes to the legislature, and the legislature in concurrence agrees. But until then, we have it. Some of these days are just not significant. They may be significant from a political standpoint. It meets the tastes of some people, especially the politicians, the wealthy ones, the seeming wealthy ones, the average-minded, the well-to-do. It favors them. Those below the line, they are at the disadvantage point. From an economic perspective, the country is generating absolutely nothing. 24 hours, too much of a time that a country would not generate money. Some of these holidays need to be erased from our Constitution. Former President Sully started the Constitution review for some modifications to be made. That was headed by the convicted and jailed former Chief Justice of Liberia, Gloria Musu-Scott. It took off well, it set sail well, but the end is unknown. Former Vice President Joe Howard Taylor will buy into this argument. It is an old age argument that some of these holidays need to be looked at. And she will suggest All Presidents' Day. That's what she suggested. It doesn't say that some of these holidays should be eradicated, but rather a combination of several days into one. Till now, nothing. So the country isn't generating anything. The country suffers so much loss. 24 hours, the country is asleep. The country is down. Nothing happening economically. And this is a poor country. This is a developing country called Liberia. We are not there yet. We're doing everything at the mercy of other countries. We are doing nothing of our own, even though we refer to ourselves as sovereign and independent nation, but we are still a subservient nation. We are at the mercy of several countries of the world. We're seeing it. Government after government will go around begging. President Bouaga comes to power, we see government giving police cards. They're giving this one, they're giving that one, which is good. No man is an island. Everybody needs everybody, but everybody must have an independence to some extent that at a certain point in time you can stand on your own, even when your partners just can't afford. But Liberia isn't like that. In crisis, Liberia looks up to other countries. Anything Liberia looks up, generating money, we shut down the country. Some of these holidays, they are not important. And interestingly, If the legislature who has the power cannot see reason, well, we will be in this and we'll just be begging and begging and begging and begging and begging. The legislature, to face them, not specifically this 55th, but legislature from the past to the present, they have come out to argue on some laws, in their opinion, that were purely obsolete, archaic. Hence, it needed or they needed to be repealed or modifications made. And they were buying into that, and they repealed some of those. But they would not turn to look at, from an economic standpoint, how these many holidays have affected and still affecting the country. They would tend not to look at that, to either do a modification if they cannot repeal some of these irrelevant holidays. In my opinion, some of these holidays are very irrelevant. We celebrated yesterday Decoration Day. Do we need a specific day after 9 months to go and clean grave? Why government will collect taxes of lands of all kinds? Why people pay taxes? In other countries, citizens don't go about. Well, I do not know about out of the country. If they happen, those of you who are following from around the world, you can share the idea with me and I will share it with the people here. But I do not know a country. It doesn't mean it does not exist. I cannot say that this country, the people go out on March 9 or March 10, or this other country goes out on April 12 to celebrate, fast, and pray after Decoration Day. I do not know. If you know, you can share that with me. That's why we are all on the show together. I've come to know Liberia as the winner country. You can share yours with me. This country has a number of irrelevant holidays. Do we need 9 months to sit down, to wait before we go to clean? What is the government's responsibility? The government does have a responsibility. Well, that's why you get, when the country is not organized, everybody comes to power, they're concerned about themselves, how they can enrich themselves, how they can be condemonium all over the place and boast that when I was in the States, I left the state, I went to Minnesota, and I stayed 2 months in Minnesota, I went to Brooklyn Park, because that's what you get from most Liberians when they come, especially the politicians. You just hear them bragging about other people's country. So, here we are today, another day called fast and prayer. This is not purely religious. To close on the on this point, then draw coming. Today, Friday, I'm not going to dwell on these things much, but just thought to let you know that these days are not relevant. This is my candid opinion. I really don't favor it. Politically, it sounds good in the ears of the people because it favors the politicians. Right now, the politicians can spend up to $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 United States dollars. They can go with wild and extravagant lifestyle, whichever way they want. But you down the line, you can't do it. You can't. You're thinking, you know what it has cost you? You sat for 24 hours. Those who are working in government offices, there are a number of things were stalled. Some vouchers weren't signed. Some arrangements, meetings just didn't take place. And some of these things, they affect our international partners too, because they're working well. As far as they're concerned, a country runs 24/7. So they are ever ready. But they can't impose on us, but rather constrainedly accept the situation because we are quote-unquote sovereign country. But it affects them too. Holiday, holidays, holiday, holiday. So the politicians aren't feeling it. Right now, all of the politicians are enjoying themselves. They're calling their friends. Oh, my man, let's come at my house. Let's spend the day. And they are there. Some areas, they're partying. They enjoying themselves. When I say party, now they're dancing on the floor because people understand partying in club. No, party is any situation to amuse yourself. So they can sit there from morning to evening and spend up to 5,000 United States dollars. It will mean nothing to them. It will not touch them. As they spend those 5,000 United States dollars, a daughter or son can walk in and say, Daddy, we're going to this place, but we need so and so. And the father will ask, how much you really need? They say, I need 150. That politician will put his hand in his pocket and give 200 United States dollars to his daughter or his son. But it can never, ever happen to you. Never. So politically, it favors them. Economically, it also favors them, but it is at your disadvantage. So you're sitting home, you're thinking. You see why it is not necessary, all these holidays? Legislators, in all fairness to this country, man, these are some of the things you need to look at in that legislature. Instead of putting a flimsy thing on the floor to investigate a given lawmaker for insulting president, this is one of several you need to look at. Instead of putting those mediocre issues on the floor, this is one of several issues you need to be looking at. And you have to look at it from an economic standpoint. Senator Amara Coney is one of the best brains economically we have in this country. Senator Francis Dopo is one of the best brains we have in this country. Representative Dixon Sibo, one of the best, and we can go on naming them from an economic standpoint. You will never sit with these guys and they tell you that this day Liberia is profiting so much, Liberia is generating revenue. Instead, they will give you all of the constraints, everything. They will tell you. If you call Representative Senator Amara Coney now and just give him the next 10 or 15 minutes, you will hear what Senator Coney would say about this day Liberia generating nothing. You will hear what Senator Francis Dopo would say about this country generating nothing under this. Representative Senator Francis Dopo, you listen to Representative Francis Dixon Sibo. They will tell you nothing. They will tell you from economic standpoint, this day, some of these holidays are just not necessary. And then, here is the last part of this contextualization of what I term irrelevant holiday. It is not purely a religious. I heard Jordan, yes, and Merali were arguing.
Not purely a holiday, but
today, it is not purely religious. Now, you will argue, I'm a controversial figure, so when we talk about the controversial, we bring out controversially, people say, they argue. Jesus was a controversial figure, but straight. This is not a purely religious day. Why? Because it was called by a political institution. Political institution. It's the same semblance of what you had during the days of old. Yeah, that the political institution would dictate to the religious people, and they will have to, because they commanded the power and authority then. So it is not purely religious. It is not from conviction. It is a political decree, and say, because the country has done this, therefore we must have fast and prayer, which is not bad, the intent is not bad. But fast and prayer, so how has the nation fasted? How has the nation prayed? Gabriel Mount, thank you for coming on. Jackson Pony of Iron Factory, thank you for coming on. All of you, hope that you guys are faring well. Fast and prayer. What fast is? What fast is? You say, oh, you're fasting for the nation. The nation needs to stop. Economically, everything stop. Politically, everything stop. Just everything to fast and pray. To fast and pray. So how did the nation fast? And how did the nation pray? How? Dry, you can come in. How?
Okay, that's good. It's good
Yeah,
to
how
be
you
here.
think the nation fasted and prayed?
Yeah, just before I come in, let me say, let me wish Manager Kutu David Sao, who is on his way to do business, and let me wish him a safe trip. And they are going to do business, and as you may be aware, the county meet is just on day after tomorrow, Sunday, and they are trying to arrange to link up to all of the sponsors, so that we can have a collaborative, broadcast at the SKD on Sunday. So, okay, you talk about fast. For me, what I understand about fast, like I was sharing with Samira this morning, has to do with they got people who can fast.
How has the nation
benefited?
Did the nation fast? The proclamation say fast and pray. So the country is on sabbatical. Cease from every work that you have uninterrupted time and period to pray and fast.
Okay.
So how did the nation fast?
Okay, so that's a good thing for people to understand, right? It was a proclamation made by the president that the country today should fast and pray. Given the status of the country as a secular state, it doesn't mean a particular group of persons will have to go in church or in mosque to pray. No. What happens is you got to be religious tolerance. People, per the proclamation, the Christians will have to go to their various churches and pray. Muslims will have to go to their various mosques and pray. If you got Buddhists, you got Judaism in Liberia, whatever means they can seek the face of God, they have to also go there to pray. So this is not restricted to a particular religion where they say the holiday today is dedicated to a particular religion to say you are to go to pray for the country. No. So the proclamation, it means all of us is burden on us to go and pray. But it's not bounding that you go and pray, but it's burden on us to go and pray. So that means even you, Sam, you don't have to go to church today before you pray. You know that people will say, yeah, Sam has prayed for the nation. But the prayer response for the nation will not immediately come because it is God's own intervention. So God has to take his own time to see how best he can, depending on how the cry or the prayer is significant to him, then he will come, to the crowd of the people in Liberia. So the proclamation made by the president isn't a bad thing. It's a good one that which every family, every sovereign family will always pray to seek the face of God, unless for some of the rich ones would not want to seek the face of God because they already have everything to their disposal. So as a sovereign nation like Liberia putting herself in the place of a poor family, we will always want to seek the face of God because we want change in this country. So in having change, it has to do with everyone involvement. So everyone being involved, there should be a proclamation made by the president, who is the head of the state, and everyone will just go about praying. That we know, say, it's not possible that everybody fast and pray, but the very few who will fast and pray, it is understandable that God himself has understood that this day is declared or dedicated to him in Liberia. So the few handful of people who will take this day very precious to pray to him, he can forgive the entire state on behalf of those few people who will pray to God. But the prayer response does not come immediately. So gradually, God will respond to them, and we will progress gradually. Liberia will one day become a better state to live, where people will play DV to come in Liberia by the grace of God. I hope you got the same.
So they fast is simply abstinence from food with a purpose. And the prayer is an intent. The two go together. The two work together. That is why it is the expression goes fast and prayer. Now, I understand your position, but Liberia's pattern is a joke. Liberia's pattern of fast and prayer is a joke, it's a fun fair. If the proclamation says, given what Liberia came through, with God hovering the country, you ought to, they decided to set a day aside. Then, as we've seen several places, I have not gone deep into the Quran, even though I have some text that I go through, but we talk about that in other areas, but I have not really sat down in my life to go, but I show. But what I do know from the Bible is whenever you had too many kings in the day of old declaring fast and prayer. One of them, Jehoshaphat, when they were besieged, they had from 4 different fronts, left, right, back, front. They were being besieged. It was no retreat, no surrender. And what did Jehoshaphat say? Let's assemble, all of us. I, as the leader, I am in the forefront. We will fast, we will pray, and we believe that God will move on our behalf. And they assemble. That is just one of several. Yeah, take that. Once the president goes to church, then that's it. And it's a real fast and prayer. If you know what the country came through as the leader, you know what you do? You lead the nation. That they had, that's something they had there at Simeon Domba Church, or I think one of the churches, where the pastor just praise the president whole day. That fast and prayer, that's what we usually see in this country. How did the president lead the nation into? Because when you fast, you are telling God, Joa, you are saying, this is the problem that we've had, or this is the problem we have confronted. We place it in your care. Hence, we look up to you. You restrain. To do that, you restrain yourself. Not necessarily that you want to keep yourself on hunger strike. No, but it was just the Jewish culture by which they would be very serious. Principally, that what a fast is, that you'll be serious, you will concentrate on what you put in forth to the person ahead of you, the deity. And every fast goes with condition. So when you put the content, or when you fast, you restrain yourself, then you go out, you pray. When you pray now, then you're not going back. None of those who did happen, you're not going back. The president did not lead the nation into anything. 2, draw. Mm-hmm. Yeah, is it? You're laughing. 2, before giving the nature of the country, giving what the country is in, the country is divided. The country is in complete psychological tatters. There is hate, widespread hate, division, malice all over the place. The president himself admitted to that. He himself admitted on a couple of occasions prior to coming to the presidency and when he became president. Until now, the president was still talking. What we expected the president to have done with the proclamation in place, which is statutory, it is a law. But the president will, in our opinion, will have issued, besides the proclamation, a statement on reconciliation, where the country is, where we're headed, what is expected, the urge, the pieces of advice, and what he is ready to do as the leader. That's how. Mm-hmm. The president did not do that. The president just woke up in the morning. He went to Simeon Doma Church. He said a fast and prayer. The rest of the people, the rest of the nation, the poor just sitting home. Nothing really of any importance. So how did the nation fast? You think God will waste his time on Liberia? He say, oh yeah, God freak for fast and prayer. You guys say, oh, fast and prayer day in Liberia, so let me turn there and listen to them because they're fasting and praying. No, the country is in. Look at the dire situation the country is in. Till now, the president has not initiated any reconciliatory program, nothing of unity, nothing on either side of the political divide. Then the proclamation said fast and pray. That's why I say it was just a political prayer. It is not purely religious because it did not come out of conviction. Anything that is not out of conviction, dry, you don't see any good response. People will just be taking it, say, oh, dry say we must do it. So because dry the boss, so let's just do it. Let's do it to please dry.
Yeah, okay, so you talk about, the president as to the church he visited on today. You're talking about the leader should be the one to lead the people and maybe showing the example on how to go about fasting and praying. But let me say this, all of the churches, they are institution. They got their own doctrine.
No, let them put it on church. No,
Yeah,
it's not church. State we're talking.
Yeah, we talk about state. But then everyone in the state tied to an institution. So every institution has...
It wasn't a church organized.
I know, but this is what I'm saying. Every institution has its own doctrine. So the doctrine the people have inherited from the church will be exactly what they will go about practicing whenever a religious, when
the state called fast and prayer?
Yes. You know that in the Aradula church, they take off slippers before they enter the hall. So if the president of the Republic, President Bouaka, even visiting that church, you have to take off his shoes. So I'm saying this to say, by the proclamation made, it was meant directly that all of us should pray. But it's not bounding that everybody pray. But it is necessary that everybody pray.
No, my argument is not on binding. My argument is the relevance, the essence. It's not binding. You can't bind a religious...
The essence of praying is to deliver the nation.
Religious issue, you can't force anybody.
Yeah.
Spirituality, you can never, ever force. It's purely God.
Yeah.
It is by individual conviction. Mm-hmm. So it's not... My argument is just on the relevance of it.
Yeah, so the relevant for me, I think, is spiritual as well. The relevant of the holiday today, it will not have to be visual that you will see immediately, but it will gradually take time, that when God
gradually take time. I think I'm in the next world.
No, that's spiritual. You and myself don't have control over that part because it lies in the purview of God. So he decides to say, the people have prayed to me. Who knows if
who pray to God?
For the sake of
who pray to God? My man,
don't for the sake of
follow the thing that fun fair.
No, I'm not polishing
look at that thing.
But I'm following it from the religious background.
Fun fair, fast and prayer.
Considering the fact that it can be on behalf of a single person, God can save a whole nation, and God used Moses to save the entire Israel. God used only Moses, so it's possible, right? Everyone that was in Israel, who tell you they were not praying? Somebody they were praying. But God did not see himself working with them, but rather working with Moses. That's why he read Moses for 40 years. So, Liberia problem, if possible, God can raise anybody, and anyone can be the one to deliver Liberia through prayer by whatever means. So the proclamation, made by the president, it was just something that we should pray. You don't have to go to church. You pray before God, and so you can stay right in your closet. You can stay right to your house. You fast and pray there. You won't go to church, you go to church and pray there. The response or the result of your prayer does not come immediately, but gradually it will come. Just have the faith. So for me, I got the faith, and I have the hope that the prayer today sent to God, for me, I did not particularly form part of the fast and prayer. Fine. But I'm hopeful that people who gave prayer or offered prayer to God today, it won't go in vain. It will never go in vain. So Liberia will take another trend through the prayer offered today. By whatever means, Liberia will take another trend through the fast and prayer day today. So I'm excited. I have the hope. Sam. So it's good. So like you are talking about, the significant, you're talking about how some people went to the other church, some people went to the other church, some people went into the mosque. Yeah.
No, I said the president went to service, went to a church, Christian a Christian center, Liberty Christian Center.
So
It's not a reference for all churches, or people go to church, or people ain't go to church.
Yeah, the president is a Baptist. So he went to the Liberty Church. I'm sure he went to pray along with the congregation there, or whatever way, we would turn it, but I'm sure he went to worship.
Yeah, but you see, I can understand your position. You've got to take that position because it's being looked at from a political standpoint. I'm looking at it from a religious standpoint, a spiritual standpoint. Listen, you can look at the country presently. The country is divided. The country, when last have you heard the president calling a single meeting of both his inner cycle and the other side of the political divide? Even though we were here and we heard that, oh, we are different, we can be on the same side, but we are one people. Now that the election is over, let's put everything behind us and come together. You hear the leader say all of those. When you're saying that God has brought you this far, God has taken you from a difficult period. If Liberia is only looking at that period from 1847, well, then it means the limiting God. God took Liberia out of a difficult situation just within this election. Who knows what would have happened? Look what the president we are saying. He said that some of his ministers and security advisors told him to rig the election. And what did he say? He was his response to them, that he did not want anybody's blood to be on his hand. So in essence, he was acknowledging, had he agreed, we would have been talking different thing here and there. Listen to the statement from even the president that's still all over the place today, that he could do anything. He can even dance with the devil to win an election. Look at how people, certain minister can speak to certain former minister. There is a complete division now between government officials presently and those of the former government. Do you think God is the God of this unity? Do you think God does not want all of these people to be in peace and all of people to confess and say, look, we all blunder? I, as the president, I take the lead that we do this. Mr. Former President, this is what happened to you at this time. I sincerely apologize. That will not happen again. Mr. Former President say, Mr. President, this went this way. Yeah? I apologize. Let it be back on. We are all one family. My man, nothing made God happy. Nothing made God happy. If God would pick up anything from this quote-unquote fast and prayer, in fast and down, thank God ain't happy in this time. That event at the inauguration, did you see that picture? Did you see that event where former President Salif, former President Weah, and current President Joseph Yuma Boakai,
where they all stood,
they held hands in love, in unity, oneness of purpose. That was purely patriotic, nationalistic. So they raised their hand. Everybody, my man, I want to believe in the realm for that moment, the atmosphere change.
So if it is for any reason, God bless.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing God can take. That's the only thing. But that's unity, ready, draw. That's love. So the man said, now continue with it. Continue. Look at the country. Then you're going, because you have this 1890 proclamation, you're running whole day, they don't want to change it. You just sit down and say, by proclamation, the president has declared the country national fast and prayer, and all prelate, everybody, the national ensign should be flown from 6 a.m. to 6 post-meridian. No. The president should have led the country into a full reconciliatory program. I mean, we agree, right? Everybody will not come out, Chief. Everybody not come. But people will come out, my man, and God, they are certain that those kinds of events can move God, dry. Those kind of event can move God. You will see the move of God. You will see the wave. My man, we see all of these things. It's in the Bible. That's why we have the Bible. You see it.
Yeah, so this is what I said.
You go sit down there, your call, because some that document say fast and pray,
understanding God is so much complicated that a
No,
single
no, no,
man.
no, no, G, don't put it on go. It's not complicated. We are complicated.
Okay. So I said understanding God is complicated. Understanding God is complicated.
Explain the complication.
Okay. So there are the complication has to do with a multiple, understanding or multiple views about things. So when I'm saying complication, it has to do with how maybe you want to think about God directly, that He is to respond or react to things immediately. It doesn't go that way. So at times you will go there, it will not work. At times you go there, it work. So at times you will believe Him to be like this, and when you check, it's not like that. That's why I'm saying, understanding God is complicated. He don't understand God in one way. He got too many ways to be understood. So the issue here is, when you talk about people to lead the fast and prayer, it's necessary, Sam. But I think, in my opinion, the religious leaders of our country should be the one to lead the country into prayer instead of the president. What happens? The president is the president. We agreed and accept he has the authority to tell people to do what necessary. But this lies in the purview of the religious leaders. So if the president will give the authority to the religious leader or the religious community to say, it is your responsibility, we are declaring today as a national fast and prayer day, you religious community, it is your responsibility to offer prayer to God on behalf of our country. So the thing here is, President Bwaka is a Baptist. He visited the church you just named. So he went there, he left from his church and went to another church to pray. That's the sin prayer as well. So I think it is the religious leaders whose responsibility was to call upon the various religious community, the Muslims and the Christian communities, to ensure that special prayer being offered to God on behalf of the country. So I don't see anything in what the president has declared the day as a holiday. So why, if the president will say today, Christmas Day, no celebration in Liberia, you think it's possible there will be no celebration of Christmas in Liberia? People will listen. People will say, yeah, the president has announced that there should be no celebration. But people will still celebrate, but the celebration will not be as it has always been. So by the proclamation today, people will pray, but it should be in different form as it had not always been. So the religious leaders should be responsible to, leading the country in prayer. That's why they have grouped themselves to be religious leaders, that we respect them of their position in seeking the face of God. We should try to pass through them because it's a national issues. We should pass through them. If it is individual affairs, I can pray for myself. You can pray for yourself. But we said it is a national holiday where everyone will have to pray for the nation. But in so doing, there are people who are responsible, who got that tax on their head to do for the nation on behalf of you and I, because they're where God called them to serve. The same way God called President Bwaka to serve as president, God called those people too to serve as religious leaders. So President Bwaka playing his part as a president, I think the religious community or religious leaders should play their part too. So once the president has given mandate to that community, the head of that community should be able to execute the order of the president. So it is the religious leader, I think, in my opinion, to be calling on, various churches, the mosques, to ensure that people go to offer prayer. And there should be a key prayer message where maybe the mosque or the Muslim people will say, we want to pray for maybe peace. Okay, say you're praying for peace, then the Christian will pray for good governance. Because if possible, you can have a good governance, but then people will still raise up, argument, or they will still raise up some concerns that will not be necessary, and there will also be a noise. So you could share the prayer point, with the religious community, then people go about praying. Or you leave it open, anybody could pray for anyone. So I think the religious community or religious leaders are the one who should be holding responsible, for the day not being thoroughly observed, as it's supposed to be. Because about this time, we're supposed to see religious community, people should go to service. Not very many churches around Monrovia you saw people in today For me, I think I passed around. I saw some of the churches that we normally can see they are parked. You know, you can't see any of them like that. So the religious community responsible same.
Let's get to the line 0770 907 907. Those of you who have been wondering about the Lone Star will use 886-673-922. I can understand what is happening. There is a confusion within the telecom of the country. Sometimes Lone Star calling Cellcom, it just can go. Even if you have 1 million in your phone, they will tell you, please check the two things they say.
Yeah.
They will say, please check the
your
number.
balance.
No, two things they can say, try yes. They will say, please check the number and try again. The second thing they will tell you, if they didn't tell you the first, the number you are calling is not available. Simple. If the tell would be your account balance is insufficient.
Yeah.
So there's this confusion within the telecom sector. Something is happening somewhere. It seems it's not comfortable between Cellcom and Lone Star, and Lone Star and Cellcom. I hope we don't go to that same era that we had during Charles Taylor period, and then it enter into Ellen Sirleaf period that if you didn't have Lone Star, you will not call the next network. If you didn't have Cellcom, you will not. So people were forced to have, too many constraints, too many things were happening in the telecom during those two regimes. So with the coming out, with the close of Ellen, they start looking at a couple of things. That's when they introduced these 3 days. There are too many things happening. I hope that we don't get there again. Let's go to the line.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you call from?
Well, I'm Philip Estamp. I'm calling from Upper Carway, to be precise, T Junction.
Yeah, let's hear you.
You see, my dear brother, for me, these unnecessary holidays that we have in Liberia that are really bringing the economic setback in Liberia, I think our lawmakers, hello?
You live. Go ahead.
Our lawmakers, I think, they should do a due diligence by amending some of those holidays. And you said something, my dear brother. It is bringing economic setback, no improvement. And people are saying people should do fast and prayer. How about do fast and prayer and the country is not at peace? If the country is not at peace, there's no reconciliation after the election. People are disheartened. People are having indifference with their friends, with their neighbors, with their communities, and the government is not even trying to put people together to do reconciliation programs.
All right, thank you.
Lastly, brother, you see the reason Liberia is looking like this. Liberia is giving God hard time. That's the reason God is giving all cross. Thank you.
Hello?
Hello?
Your name and where you call from?
Yeah, thank you. This is Emmanuel Richardson, and I joined the conversation when I run Carwell, and I would like to say hi to people and you.
Yeah, let's hear you, Richardson.
Yeah, I listen to you guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And looking at today, I think today you have said the day of reconciliation. Let's just forget about the higher level. In the communities, you will see, even the ordinary people, since the election, people got a speech for each other. Today in the communities, you will see people don't even speak to their friends only because people still get our mindset that, oh yeah, you on this side and on this side. So this country, I don't know, because even you will just by the word, just by you pronouncing today, is it oh today is fast and prayer day or other thing there.
Mm-hmm.
The prayer it's not just by the lips, it's from the heart.
Okay.
If you cannot speak to your friend, how can you go pray for God to even answer your prayer?
Thank you. Hello?
Hello?
Your name and where you call from?
Hello, God. My name is Personal Care Communist Nuance. T-shirt owner.
Yeah, let's hear you.
I want to say thank you so much for this program. I listened to St. Andrew very well. He made a sense in one
both of you one with the other because this day is not actually to me it's not necessary. Because my brother, right now, if you listen to the burial homes in Moreover all over Liberia, you will observe that people are not eating very heavily at the burial home. You're not seeing people fasting. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see the day. I mean, I don't see anything in the day that can actually benefit us as a nation.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Us.
Hello. Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Your name and where you come from?
I think from Chila calling for Sandro Marora.
Yeah, let's hear you.
So my brother, listen to you, my brother. Any country that went war after the war in
Your line is kind of bad. Your line bad, brother.
Hello, John.
Hello. Your name and where you come from?
How you doing?
I'm fine. Your name and where you come from?
My name is T1P Willie, and I join your conversation from district number 3, but not found to be specific.
Let's hear you, Willie.
Yeah, yesterday I disagree with Sam, but today I'm disagreeing with you, Joel. That thing they call prayer is not hypocritical. When you are praying, the Bible said the house divided among itself will not stand. And when we go to the book of Psalms, it says how pleasing it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. The book of James also said when you carry an offering to offer to God, you get differences with your brother. Lay it to the altar and run back to settle your differences. So it all pointing to reconciliation. You know, reconcile the country, they say, pray, how God will hear us. And Mr. Andrew, the country reconciliation is not just a form-fair thing. When somebody is saying, oh, brother, I'm sorry. The reconciliation should be done also with the arbiter of justice. Not so someone not believe in it. People were killed in Lofa. In the wake of the election today, we are yet to see what is coming out of it. Those are the reasons why we got blue and green Liberia. And that blue and green Liberia will be set up when justice prevails. Don't just by somebody pronouncing in that mom, I can't uphold the rule of law. How are you upholding the rule of law? By going to court and taking court cases from court with private citizens, two private citizens got cases in court.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Your name and where you come from?
My name's Mr. Augustine Balayan.
Yeah, one Augustine Balayan. Let's hear you.
My brother, reconciliation cannot just begin the way in which the president declared it. If you come in the rural community, you will see the hatred in the communities. I have LEC in my yard, and many people do not have LEC. They will come to my home and recharge their phone and whatsoever free. But when CDC God lost the election, they took pata. These same people came to my door. They're knocking pata, slapping, they're doing, they're causing noise, saying nonsense. And that anger is in people's body. You think that anger will just go away in one day time when you declare fast and prayer? And who thinks that someone who get time for it? I really step to the church.
So because they were knocking part up at your door, you stopped them from charging food to your house, eh?
Because I felt that I was helping them before, but then if election has come, I believe that you will come and say, oh, Lord, my brother, we are war. Let's forget, let's back on, be back on. But you still coming to my door, knocking past over a week. Then after you aggravated me yesterday, I want to let it go like that. The community, the rural communities in Liberia, no places people can speak to one another, even office.
Yeah, that's true.
For the other side, no, then you pay. So
Okay.
you can even go on it.
Okay, brother.
So
Thank you.
You can go on it.
Thank you. I think 0770907907, 0770907907. Let's get your take on the discussion. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Your name and where you come from?
Yes, hi, my name is Subiji Weir, and I'm calling from Balanceville.
Yeah, Mr. Weir, let's hear you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, guys, for this topic. And it's so interesting that I'm calling for the first time anyway. You know,
holidays, those are days that you sit home and don't do anything. It has to be a day that is necessary. And as you guys say, seriously, there are a lot of holidays that are not necessary in this country. Now, fast forward, we're talking about reconciliation. We're talking about fast and prayer. I like my Muslim brothers. They just came from fasting. And what those guys did, in fact, all around the world, what they do, they first of all reconcile with whoever they have anything with before they go fast. But this country, for example, we see our president is not even talking to Yega Koluba that he groomed. He was the one that prepared Yega Koluba. Now today, because Yega Koluba is on him, he doesn't even talk to him. He don't want to see him. How can we have fast and prayer in this?
But you get to now see the president.
And God answer us. Is it possible?
Okay.
So those are the things. It has to start from the top. The president has to reconcile with people that he see as enemies.
Okay.
Thank you for the topic.
Thank you too. Thank you. That's all the time I think we got for callers, and we have to take the next conversation here. We say thanks to the first batch of people who participated on the conversation.
Okay, so we've got the celebrity. But as we close on this, one of the callers will say something very salient. There is a difference between leading by example and leading by difference. The two aren't the same, but we are so used to leading by example. That expression is in our DNA, leading by example, leading by example.
More common to be interpreted.
But the other side of it is leading by difference. And it is simple to understand. When a person takes to the hem of power, and that person left a number of things which was criticized by the person who is coming in, and that person takes over, you can tread the same route. If the person did positive things, you would do positives, but it would not be identical. The negative, you will not follow. So we have the president declaring his assets, the former president, and that will be discussed next week because the House of Representatives, summer LACC, they did the most stupid thing that you can ever do as an institution. They made the former president assets public. Yeah, that's what they did. So the House, some of them, they're going to explain. But they did not make public President Joseph Boakai Yema own. Something is happening at our LACC. They're not the main thing. Are you using this expression to explain leading by difference? But just so you know, Tuesday, LACC will be at the House of Representatives. They went and made public the former president declaration. Yeah, and it is serious. It is serious. It's punishable under our law. The law says only the person is just say yes. Yeah, I want to make it public, and I will make it public. It is just right. But the law says once it is submitted, it is confidential. It is confidential. Without the person's consent, you cannot do anything public with that document. And we're talking about one of the Lebanese men, the white man.
Yeah, I mean,
the man that rich man get plane.
I think 10 million.
The man get plane. Forget about the money drive, the man get plane. So what we'll be hearing about plane flying all the President Ryan, jet plane. The man document get plane inside. Maybe his own planes.
They've been offering, maybe they won't be offering the president the ride.
We get there. It's on the list. So leading by difference. And President Joseph Yema, President George Weah, they argue that he did not declare his assets. He did not make it public. Leading by difference is where You come in,
Your predecessor.
you do something far different from your predecessor. Your predecessor would not make his public, you make yours public. Everybody knows what you bring to the presidency. That's leading by difference.
Yeah.
In the situation with the fast and prayer, the proclamation is there. The president can alter the proclamation with any political decree because it was legislated. But what the president can do, leading by difference, use this day, call the religious leaders of this country, call the two sides politically, civil societies and other people, and we speak our minds. Draw that kind of gathering, I bet you. If you don't hear some things, if you don't see the wave, the atmosphere changing, if you don't see God himself descending in that gathering, never ever, believe me, or call me by the name Sam Andrews again. Chief, okay. That's why the man said, where 2 or 3 gathered in my name.
I'll be in the midst.
Reconciliatory, Matthew 18:20. Chief, it's not just sitting down in some political seat because you have. We agree the proclamation is there. Yes, you can change the proclamation, it's there, except by legislative repeal. But do something different. Use this day. Since this day, everybody cease from going to their respective places of work and businesses. Do something different. Call the religious leaders of this country. Call the people who, when something major is happening in a country, you can call them. Even though when the people want to get in political position, they say there's a difference between church and state. But when Liberia in some difficult situation, they say, what the pastor, they go and pray. They're not praying. Well, they're not talking. Yeah. You see, call the religious leaders of the country. Call the church fathers. And tell them what the nation, where the nation is presently, and they're already aware. Call the opposition. Call your people. You sit down. And you talk and you speak your mind. At the close of the day, you hold hands in one accord and bless the Lord. My man, see what God will do. Anything short of that fun we're making in the country, man, that fun fair, that joke, complete farce. That caller, he said something. I just thought to bring that in. Yeah.
You're talking about what the caller said.
Yeah. So
and it's been understood differently and interpreted differently. So what happened is that your understanding on religious matter gives you divine knowledge or the experience in.
No, I just started listening to all of the callers. He said something. He said something. Because today, nothing happening. Why wouldn't you want to use this day to call your people going to church? The other people go, they say, in their respective places. Yes, it's good. You said it in your opening. But listen, there is something called corporate gathering that God, when God moves individually, but God is more instant with his movement in a corporate gathering. That's why he said one accord. One accord. Look up that word. From Genesis to Revelation, what did he use again? He said, where 2 or 3 gathered. And see how many times he talked about love, reconciliation, unity, justice, peace, and on and on. Anyway, these two is Liberia. Let's move to the next pointer. So, he is a celebrity. But nobody saw this coming. We have in our country the Anti-Corruption Commission, Anti-Graft Institution. In Nigeria, they have the ECC. But nobody saw this coming. He went about his usual. This time around, it didn't work out for him. The state saw what he did, spraying money, Nigerian dollars, and walking on it, which they find very demeaning, unpatriotic, not representative of their country, or a male, female, Bobrisky. So they invited him and they charged him. And it went far and wide. And you expect that it will go far and wide because he is a celebrity. Even though some people can say she, but he is he, she is she. That's right.
Given by nature, we know him to be he.
He?
Yeah. Unless by
The fence.
Yeah, fence is she.
She. But he.
Yeah.
He is he.
I like that. So no other way you would like us placing it, not because he turned himself into a woman, then you expect us, to call him, she.
Yeah.
He was born as a man.
He.
Yeah, he's he.
And you have this thing all over the world, except for countries that really don't give to it and they are not developed. But you have this transgender all over the place. Just so you know, transgender is changing from man to quote-unquote woman, changing from woman to quote-unquote man. That's what they call transgender. The word trans means to move, to change direction. So they say transgender. So you can choose to be a man or to be a woman. So Bobrisky got caught up with the laws of Nigeria and then jailed. Let's hear the BBC Lagos correspondent on the atmosphere. Have a listen.
Surprise might not be appropriate enough to describe the news that the self-acclaimed Mummy of Lagos was arrested by men of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Idris Okuneye was arraigned by the anti-graft agency for mutilating ones of new Naira notes at the premiere of a movie in Lagos. According to the provision of the Central Bank of Nigeria Act 2007, it is punishable by fines, imprisonment, or both for any person caught spraying off, dancing, or matching on a naira or any note issued by the bank during social occasions or otherwise. This act was enforced when a Nigerian actress, Oluwadarasimi Omosheyin, was convicted and sentenced to 6-month imprisonment for spraying and stepping on the new naira notes at a social event in Lagos. According to an investigation by the Commission, Bobrisky had also committed the alleged offense at some other event centers and parties at different times. The social media has been agog with pictures and memes as the arrest took over the space. On the EFCC Instagram handle, the story has garnered the most comments as many asked lots of questions about cross-dresser's arrest. The Commissioner said he will soon be charged to court when investigations are concluded. With this development, many are waiting with bated breath to see what becomes of this case.
So that's what it was with the Nigerian he that became she medically. Bobrisky, mutilated note. It simply means to ruffle the notes or to tear it. Someone here in Liberia, they say mutilated note. Or you had the beginner going around, tear money, where tear money, then you say when you get tear $10 or $50, you get the change it. Then the guy said spraying money or spraying note. It's not an expression taking a spray and spray the money. No, like what they do here. If you watch those Nigerian movies, when they are having a celebration, the person will just leave the crowd and begin to splash the money. And splash the money over from one end to another. That's the jargon they have for a spraying of money. It's just like you spreading lapa, yeah, or you throwing things out. And then the next thing the guy said, he walking on the money. The last one did hurt. If you listen carefully to him, it looks like the last one hurt the Nigerians. If you take our money here, our money, and you walk on it, is the same as taking the flag and walking on it, condemning. So Bobrisky did just that. Have a listen again.
Surprise might not be appropriate enough to describe the news that the self-acclaimed Mummy of Lagos was arrested by men of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Idris Okuneye was arraigned by the anti-graft agency for mutilating ones of new naira notes at the premiere of a arraigned by the anti-graft agency for mutilating ones of new naira notes graft agency for mutilating ones of new naira notes 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 at the premiere of a movie in Lagos. According to the provisions of the Central Bank of Nigeria Act 2007, it is punishable by fines, imprisonment, or both for any person who caught spraying off, dancing, or matching on the naira, or any note dancing, or matching on the naira, or any note issued by the matching on the naira, or any note issued by the bank, dancing, or matching on the naira, or spraying off, dancing, or matching on the naira, or any dancing, or matching on the naira, or any note issued by the bank, dancing, or matching on the naira, or 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 any note issued by the bank during social occasions or otherwise. This act was enforced when a Nigerian actress, Oluwadarasimi Omosheyin, was convicted and sentenced to 6-month imprisonment for spraying and stepping on the new naira notes at a social event in Lagos. For spraying and stepping on the new naira notes, for spraying and stepping on the new naira notes, for spraying and stepping on the new naira notes, for spraying and stepping on the new naira notes at a social event in Lagos. According to an investigation by the Commission, Bobrisky had also committed the alleged offense at some other event centers and parties at different times. The social media has been agog with pictures and memes as the arrest took over the space. On the EFCC Instagram handle, the story has garnered the most comments as many asked lots of questions about cross-dresser's arrest. The commissioner said he will soon be charged to court when investigations are concluded. With this development, many are waiting with bated breath to see what becomes of this case.
So Bobrisky is with the law of Nigeria for all of those transgender. We just thought to insert that those of you who are fans of Bobrisky, well, that's what he finds himself in, the man who portrays himself as a woman, a transgender. This afternoon, when this thing came out, after we had that conversation, the three of us, you and I and Mafila, because Mafila didn't believe that it had happened when the news came up. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but that took many people by surprise. So that was not a surprise on her part. People, if it was in America,
no one has time for that.
Yeah, we've heard that over and over the stars. Yeah, but
that's the Western culture, different from the African culture.
Very good.
So what you put yourself into the culture, if the culture doesn't call for it, it makes the environment very uncomfortable for you, and even for the people you are dwelling with.
So when we went out, the conversation again, we made it there. And get what dominated? One group argued that that's woman.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? One group is arguing bitterly.
You gotta look exactly.
and know that you accept my curiosity. I jump inside, but no, he that is he. That's not she. Is that a woman, man? But you know, in Liberia, you can't get too involved with those things. Yes, you can. You have to be very mindful.
It appears like you got interest in it.
Yeah, some of them were just think that you try to outweigh them. What they believe is what they believe, and so you can. So you have to be mindful, and that was the. But he is he. He is he. There can be no he, she. No she, he, no he, she. You either he or she.
Yeah. Is
So-
she or is he?
So he's he. He's he, right?
Yeah. No, I'm not looking at the apostrophe
My man,
or the
my man,
personalization.
he's
I'm,
he.
I'm looking at the
Yeah,
linking
yeah,
verb. Yeah, is
yeah.
he? You know,
My man,
Yeah.
whichever way
he
that
is
he.
he. Yeah, we know he is he.
Yeah, he, and not she, that he. H for man,
Yeah.
she, S for woman. But you
man,
can be
but-
two.
Yeah,
You can be two.
But Sam, that be weird, man. You know the height by Brucey isn't a good one, and given the nature, you know, of the country you reside, the culture of that country does not call for, you know, such practice. Especially, let's accept you got money, but your money should not be.
No, not that
an-
the
an
culture,
offense.
not that the culture doesn't call for such practice. No, that what they do, it is their culture.
In Nigeria,
and
no,
they
if
take it in their movies when they having occasion. You will see. But you listen to what the
That-
guy said
the-
that
the
he will
trans-
spray the money. That means he will splash the money out and walk on it. And the guy quoted, the correspondent quoted a provision from the Central Bank of Ghana that forbids such. It's just like dry. You take the flare
Yeah.
of Liberia, man, then you walking on it, you putting hole on it, you taking it to be nothing.
Yeah, that I know. I know it is a case, right? But
So it can
there can
be-
be a case
yeah.
built on somebody.
Yeah, but
and-
don't say it is not the culture, it's something that he tried to. No, it is the normal thing. And that's why some of our politicians during the elections were taking, they were doing the election. You see, a Liberian politicians will go to the crowd. And then at a certain point in time, he wasting money. He's splashing money. You know, that Nigeria stuff. Because they see it in movies.
No, the
That
act,
culture.
the act of, you know, working on the money, I'm not really deep into it. I'm talking about the transgender. That's what I'm talking. I'm not just talking about the money.
Oh,
the
okay.
money issue part is by law that you can put money down and walk on it according to them. So saying it is their law, he will have to bear the penalty of the law. But I'm talking about the transgender, where they change him or transform him from man, and, you know, change everything about him to woman. But a man is a man. A man will always be a man. Like Sam said, the guy, when you see him just like a woman, but then he using false breast and the organ, they diverted the organ from man to woman, and that's the kind of way he wanted it, and that's how he is currently. But we're saying this. In the
Yeah, it
community,
is-
you'll be mocked at. People will not regard you. As soon as you pass in, everyone will want to be pointing fingers at you.
No,
because
but
they
it's-
feel
you-
that what you are into embarrass the entire community.
Yeah, that is normal. The culture in Nigeria really don't forbid that. No, because except for there are other people, but they not up to that level in terms of the political the
status.
the media hype of Bobrisky, probably the way he carries himself, the people he identifies with, his fellow transgender, so he's on top. But there are other people like that in Nigeria. There are other people. But Nigeria culture is not liberal to it, as you have European countries, America. No, on that side, it is the normal, it is the right. It is the same as surrogate mother. The woman can choose to be a surrogate mother. Yeah, but you will not find that in Africa. A surrogate mother is where the woman carries or she conceived, and at a certain point in time, given the work that she's doing or the business, or she wants to continue her pleasure in her financial status, she can enter an agreement with another lady, legally and medically. They will go through those two cardinal stuff. The woman who is not the biological or is not the carrier of the child
yeah.
would take forward. They would go and do the medical transition. Yeah, and the
Adaptation, right?
Yeah, that woman now becomes the surrogate mother. Surrogate is using oneself to accomplish an aim on behalf of another person. So they have all of those transgender, surrogate. They have different clones, all of those things in those cultures. So they go on. You see that. But one thing, and probably maybe that's why we were asked at the close of the day drive, please, you might revive me, put it there. Now, yeah, one thing. Once you are man, you're man. Once you're a woman, you're woman.
Wow, what is it when you talk about?
Yeah, just put the Bobrisky
okay.
stuff there, yeah? When before we close, you just remind me, we ask a simple question, and then we zoom out. Probably that will be the closing of it. Okay. So that will be doing it for that. Let's talk the commerce minister, the white commerce minister in Liberia, Lebanese commerce minister, the white minister who said that if the government can give him the support, he will resign. The first commerce minister ever
To have
in our history to say that. No commerce minister in our country since 1847, from 1822, ever said that. Only the white minister, the Lebanese minister. So the man declared asset. We'll not run through all because of time. We've got other significant issues. So total cash, real properties, personal properties. Listen, Odra, yeah, what the man has, vehicles, boats, ships, aircrafts, machinery, etc. The man have rich man, the man have vehicles. I can take the vehicles from there in normal. But boats, ships, not even boat, but boats. Not ships, not ship, but ships. Not aircraft, but aircraft. Then total personal property, intangible assets, patents, copyrights, trademarks. What other? Then again, total assets, liabilities. What all they have here for the man? US 10.309 million. Then what is it again? Total liabilities, 67.71 million. Total liabilities, 57,517 million. Net worth, assets minus liability. What the guy at? US 8. Let me look at it good. Yes, 8.538 million. That's what the man submitted. So the man said, I'm a Modad, solemnly declare that all information I have provided herein is true, complete and correct to the best of my knowledge. I consent to the release of any and all information to and from concerned institutions, nationally or internationally, for the verification claims contained in the declaration. I am also aware that criminal charges, including perjury, could be brought against me for any false declaration. Then it is the closing year. Yes, I'm a Modad, his signature, 2nd, 26, 2024. That's when he declared his assets. And then he opted to make it public. But right now,
no, I like the trend Modad took, right?
I mean, forget about the trend, but the thing and the men declare, but.
Yeah,
but everybody taking the same trend.
No, not everybody taking the trend.
The trend is just to
declare the assets that one thing to make it public.
The white man say he gets shipped.
So there where I'm coming now, it has drew my attention.
You gotta test, whoa.
It has drew my attention, Sam. So I say I love the trend he took, right? Their government is being heavily criticized, on the issue of transparency. And every government official will be highly placed on the weighing scale to exempt themselves from corruption. So if Amin will come out and say he got 10.309 million US in his account. That means he is opting to do something good. But here is it. At the end of their 6 years, if it happens that a new government take on, the new government too will have to investigate Moda, and we will look at his salary, his arrear, and from 2024 to the 2029, we add everything together and do the mathematics. When we exceed the number we know that it's supposed to be, then that means Moda will be found in corruption, or he might have corrupt the resources of Liberia from the commerce and industry. So, same say we should look at the kind of material or the kind of property Moda has. Moda is what if a person will have ship, and he say ships, not even ship, but ships. If Moda will have ships, that means Moda rich. Aircrafts, if Moda will have aircrafts, that means Moda rich. But then, here is my thought.
But the other one, boats.
Boats. He got boats, not one, not two, but from one all the way. So he also got Vigo. Vigo bad a common thing. You get whether you rich, not rich, you have car. Yeah. But we're looking at the boat, the ship, and the aircraft. It appears very uncommon in our setting to have somebody get ship in Liberia. I'm talking about the one that you can face and be passing a runway. To have a boat, aircraft, that means rich. So, it has been speculated that Moda and all sponsor the campaign and they pay some money to President Pwaka for their campaign. So with all the properties now coming up that Moda got, it signifies that Moda have money to sponsor the election. He have money and some of these things in the corridor that they pay for job, or they gave him the commerce ministerial position because of his contribution in the election time. I don't want to doubt it anymore. At first I was doubting, but I don't want to doubt it anymore. Because with the lower worth he has on his assets declaration, that means Moda is capable of even contesting as a presidential candidate in Liberia. If what the lady name? Madonna, who contested, man?
Mandela Cooper.
Mandela Cooper contested. Dr. Clarence Montebaden, they contested. They didn't go anywhere. And I don't want to believe that Mandela Cooper got ship. I don't also want to believe that she even got aircraft.
But who will give our country to Lebanese man?
You understand?
A web man.
So I'm saying we'll get a country to him. I'm just looking at his capability or the worth he got. So I'm no longer doubting, until we can thoroughly investigate and come up with the final verdict. Where
it's obvious. You're right. The man is rich. That's why they suggest he has money.
He got money.
But what our country have not attempted to do since the LACC came into existence, I think they need to do that, like we see in other countries. Don't just be satisfied with the presentation or submission of papers.
Go after it.
That's why you have verification. And the verification is not to examine papers, but it is my understanding that the LACC verification is to just look through the papers, and given the person's personality, they file those papers and give the person the okay that the papers are correct, they are okay, and then the person responsible will sign to where he or she ought to sign. In other countries, verification, yes, is in they go together. As you submit those documents, they match it with the reality. So if Sam Andrews submitted 3 houses, one Rabafi, one in Broadway, one in Oro, the team will move to assess, to see and no. Because it is possible St. Andrews can submit 3 apartments, and on paper, there are 3 apartments, but in reality, nothing. So in 6 months' time, St. Andrews can put those 3
apartments
in those areas. And LACC would say that's what he submitted. But that the money came from the government up to the time he served in those time.
Yeah, you're right.
You see?
You're right. So the verification team will have to be very proactive.
Yes.
It's not only about signing the paper. It's not only about looking at the kind of car the president enter with in the yard, or maybe the kind of way the president dressed.
Go beyond the submission
beyond.
of the papers.
And what you have to do, in fact, all you need is, I think, on the access sheet, there can be a location of all of the properties the president have acquired. So the verification team responsibility now will be, you don't have to call the man and tell him that you're going to check and make sure the house he talked about or he mentioned is being built on Rawafi Highway. So soon as you access the paper from him, making to understand that, sir, we can access any of your property at any time for verification. Once he say yes, you move on. So you go really like to the fast and prayer, you drive on Rawafi Highway. Go and ask the community, he has, or he mentioned that he got a building. You go and check for the building, the value or the worth of the building, because some of them will pull, estimated worth above the building. And, when you go and look at the house, even now worth sometimes 5, 6, 7,000, but they will be putting 300,000 for one house. And you see,
Sure.
Yeah, because they want to value the house, and knowing fully well that they want to make more money and they want to steal from the position they are going to. So when they steal the money in time to come, when they are justifying, they will say, I built the house 300,000 and I sold it, because that's going to be the argument. I have sold my house and there's the money. So check on the paper I gave you. I bought it. I said I built my house 300,000, so I sold it for 450,000. And you go check in the account, they got huge money. They have stole the money from the Liberian people and sit over it, behave as if they have worked
The LACC
more than any other person.
LACC will have to. They will have to do just that. They will have to go beyond just receiving papers and do a practical assessment. No. Those properties out of the country, fine, there are means by which you, but the easiest is right here, the ones that are here. People should not submit papers and then we are excited that they've submitted or they declare their assets. Declaration and verification,
are 2 separate
they
things.
must go together. The LHCC has to be pragmatic enough. Go beyond the submission. It is not that the person has given you a paper and then you, by confidentiality, you conceal that paper as per the law. No, but you go beyond. No, see those things, see those structures, see what, because the man is a public, how will you submit, how will you declare your asset? The very government don't know, because LACC is part of the government. LACC is not autonomous. LACC only has prosecutorial power. The rest of the country must know. Yeah, we even know the very president, our president, we even know his property, but he submitted papers to the LACC.
And Mudauno, she's looking heavier than the president sheet.
Definitely.
The sheet the president submitted was a flying sheet.
This is just one of 4 sheets.
Yeah. So Muda reached by the president.
Yeah. The man start making good money before Mr. President. So nobody know Mr. President's structure. The president said the house that he been in for the 2 years, that what he stayed in. So is that what he submitted to the LHCC? If that what he submitted to the LHCC, fine. Then it means that he shouldn't build another house. Then what we're hearing of the president moving to giving a new house, then we'll have to know. Musa Ability submitted his document. Musa Ability document is reached. But do we know?
Even for the family.
Do we know the locations, all the things? That's what the country should know. Then you will know the fight against corruption will be as easy. It will not be difficult.
Yeah.
But the reason why you have all of these declarations, going with the political hype associated with it, because the LACC has never ever attempted to go beyond just receiving papers, but has been excited to receive papers. Then they come on Facebook and now Edwin Dry has submitted. Then Edwin Dry and Sam Ajuju will call the media to take pictures and put it on. No, go. If the man say he has 3, 4, 5 houses, know where those houses are. Look at the house. Look at the value of it, because the man is coming to public office or he has come to public office. Then you will know beyond that. So what if that house is in a dilapidated condition? Like what we're hearing about APRC managing director. They said, Amos Tue, that he was in unfinished house. And we are hearing that just the same place now, the house is being turned into a duplex. In
the course of a month.
So if he submitted his papers, and LACC did not go to see what he submitted to know and take pictures. In other countries, the people take pictures. They team there.
They could incite or they could place the future, status of their homes on the sheet, because they will feel that they want to live in like 100,000 house or 200,000 house. So they will put it on the paper 200,000. Then when they put it 200,000, they stay in the $2,000 house. When the LACC accept the assets, then they start to build the structure to the status of the 200,000 mentioned.
Because the commission will not go in immediately to take pictures to have evidence. In other countries, that's how the people check you. And then when you are caught, and then they go to court, if LACC has that prosecutorial power by autonomous, or if they don't have submission, they will submit those evidence in court. If the government moves to prosecute such person or to know, they will submit. In other countries that have government officials are brought down, and they have to account. They will display that from 2003, this is what you submitted. And the house was like this, was like this. From this time to this time, the house went to 3-story. How did they get from this story to this? And your salary is this. Your per diem is this. Everything.
Everything. That's how do the matter.
Yes.
So if you ever store in a position, they
will know. They will know. It will not be difficult at all. What we're doing here, that fast, complete fast, joke, fun, fair. Have you ever seen, since LACC came to me, have you ever seen the tracking anything to know what this person had as per his declaration and beyond that, and try to question? No. LACC just sitting there, they do their last month money, they get a fabulous salary, that all. But in terms of transforming this country, in terms of tackling corruption, it can never ever work. Never. Never. That joke. People get you paper, you satisfied, then you see LACC people signing. My man, when I look at it, people are laughing. In other countries, the people will receive all your documents. That's not it. In Liberia, that one event, In Liberia, that one event. In other countries, there are several steps you have to go through.
Several procedures.
You go through.
Several procedures to substantiate your assets.
They will fast check.
Before they can even make it public.
They will call you. You will go, the team. You will answer some questions.
Each team will have its own responsibility to validate as to what you're saying is truth. These structures you saying you got
in Liberia.
To actually see them and say, yes, the person, have acquired these properties and deserve this position. Then from there, now people will start to observe your work in government position.
Yeah. Well, it's difficult. That's why the LACC, the GAC, all of those anti-graft institutions, they ain't going anywhere. They can't prove nothing substantive to help the country. They're just only excited when president say, we will audit this institution, GAC will audit, LAC on there, then you see them, they're excited. Yeah?
Because they know what can be behind the audit.
Nothing extra they're doing. Nothing extra. People just submitting. Let all the officials submit. That LACC has long cabin. So you can put the files in. LACC has several. Long. Yeah, let them keep putting it there. Let them just put it. Let them just be there. But fighting corruption in this country, that thing our president on
is very difficult.
Joke. That joke. Difficult. We know the president. Nobody knows what the president has. At least more than trying. Most ability. At least we're seeing papers. Senator Darius Dillon, Senator Yombli Kanga Lawrence, Senator Bocha Sogbe for the family. Or at least we're seeing paper. At least we're reading it. We can see we have not seen the president paper to read it. Moda. Now Moda paper we're reading here before us.
Moda.
At least. So why we can see the president paper? If we didn't see former president, we have paper. At least let's see the current president paper.
Let it won't be lead by difference.
Lead by difference. Come and show your paper too. If we can see the houses, but at least they talk about the paper. Say, the president has the president has it. Just Moda is this. Moda has this. Moda has that. Yeah, we're referencing because we see it on the paper. LACC signed it. LACC approved it. Let's go to you. 0770-907-907, and then we take the next issue, and then we zoom out. Today is holiday. Holiday in Liberia. Fast and prayer day. Hello?
Hello, Sam.
Your name and where you come from?
Hey, William Harris. Calling my capital Papa.
Yeah, let's hear you, William.
Sam, you know what I never see you. I've been following you about. I wish to see you one day. Sam, the point that you said, they put Steve on their country, Sam. They put negative country. Let me tell you what happened in Angola. Get followed up. The minister of mines, he can't declare as a popular as a guy. What I did, they put mechanical checks. It was sick. Our life. I tell you, the underground went and made research and when they checked and everything was live. I know I was sentenced to jail for 8 years. Check it out.
Okay, thank you.
Because they put on the glass tea. When they put tea, nobody knows. Saying complicated, right? They put on the sound of the document. Nothing go away. They put tea for you, right? But they put a check. They can't find nothing. Let me tell you, that the check they put bringing, take up a good day, God bless you.
Thank you. Hello? 0770907-907. 0770907-907. Hello?
Hello.
Your name and where you come from?
This is Samuel G.J. calling from Portman.
Yes, you, Samuel.
Yeah. First of all, I'm a silent listener, and I thank you all very much this afternoon. You know, this is our country now. The country says anybody, human beings are changing day and night. Because what is not right for you to do, that what now they are doing. In a typical example, the holiday today, I am a pastor, but I was confused for the holiday. Because I prepared myself already making a trip somewhere now, then I heard it this morning. So for that aspect, you know, I want people then supposed to think about how to do in the right way. Because you know all day like in the 70s, before somebody become a representative, they got to see your property you have in the country. And they find you have for people to work on. But this time now people, they're renting people apartments. From there, they rob that person, they get that small money, they say they're sitting building costs. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello? Hello? Yeah, your name and where you come from?
Thank you very much. My name is Ibra Chinka. I call him a call and he joined this evening.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Sometimes you listen to Senator Andrew. You are one good guy. Sometimes you'll be teaching religion, but a little bit confused. I want to know why everybody will be involved into politics. First, to be a political journalist. That is feel for it too much from ABC radio and to now. Actually, I don't know. So I ask you, brother, to please join the political position you were, and then you elected people, and then me, I was so much friend of people. Now, actually, I gone all tried. I don't know because you are too political to explain now.
So the man, Sam was just born to be a religious teacher, right?
Yeah. No, the second one.
So all along, Sam was teaching the religion on the radio. How many times did you contribute to him?
You I will make any other suggestion, but you and I get it, and then you and I agree with me. So it's only for me. Just
No, no, no. You made recommendation on something that you have impact. Listen, you made recommendation on something that you have impacted,
Yeah.
and your recommendation will be considered. So in this case, you have not impacted the man. Then you want to make recommendation on his source of income. Let's go to another caller, man. Hello.
Yeah, hello?
Your name and where you come from?
Yeah, man, it's really well calling from Lakpasi.
Yeah, Wole, let's hear you.
You know, corruption will not finish because everybody try to defend a party. Yeah, what happening? People, the government try to run behind those who do things out of the way. People backing people. They're backing. They say now all about backing. You see the kind of thing? Because a bad man, una political party, the other one the bad una political party. Can you imagine? Other people be crying for those who got their work on the kind of level. So
Okay.
we're not we in sympathy with those right now. People can't. That is that go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, mother, mega boats, ships, aircraft. Hello? Hello?
Okay, hello.
Your name and where you come from?
My name is Lawrence Jerry John, a conversation from Fender resident.
Yeah, Lawrence, let's hear you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I believe in my mind that electricity will be beyond just receiving access on document. We need to carry on what we call some physical verification to reconcile what is on the document with respect to what is on the ground. I do believe that's how we can tackle the issue of corruption in this country.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hello? Hello? 0770-907-907, 0770-907-907. Give us your position. Hello?
Yes, I doing better.
I'm fine. Your name and where you come from?
Yeah, anyway, my name is Theophilus Tiega. I just joined on this number 3. You see, the issue of corruption we need to come down high because we as Liberians, corruption is our major. If the election want to do due diligence, it should ask those people to feature the government to locate the property, and then they should have fee officers who will send on the fee, identify this property, and bring back report. I'm also not a CJ. That's only that. Hello?
Yeah, you live.
Yeah, so if that happen, they also have the partnership with you guys from the media. Then what happen? I just understand that LAC is trying to do well. For other than that, nothing.
Okay, thank you. Hello?
Hello?
Your name and where you come from?
Yeah, Maurice Thomas calling from Timberlake Drive.
Yeah, Morris, let's hear you.
Yeah, about I mean, asset. I mean, get all those assets that still fighting to get position for any government. Because those assets they can give more than 50,000 a month if you investing on it. So why you are ready to go get position again? Like, you can't even make, you can't even make 20,000 a month.
Okay, thank you. But I want to share.
Give it 0.5
Okay. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, your name?
St. Andrew and Drew.
Yeah, your name?
Yeah, I'm Peter David Castle. I come from under the street light in Roy Johnson. Thank you for the fascinating discussion. St. Andrew, I'm totally surprised to hear that when those guys declare their assets no further up, then we are done. We are still living in the age of antiquity. What? That is very much primitive. Then we have a group of people, what they call them educated people. It is quite unfortunate. In fact, they have not done nothing. That is nothing. They are just busy doing nothing. As somebody would declare to bring piece of paper, you don't even follow up to really find out whether it is real or realistic. You just take paper, you put it down.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, the country back wall. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Hello? Hello?
Is that Duran?
Yeah, your name and where you come from?
My name is P1 Willie once again. I joined you this time from the community.
Yeah, let's hear you, Willie.
Yeah, this is like, we can't just stick to it as it is now. What others are saying is very important. There's a need for verification because if proper scrutiny and verification is not done, we are saying that as a recipe of a lot of students that will come out in this government. We've seen it as a chicanery that those guys are put together to kill our city. So we are calling for verification of those assets that have been declared because it's strange. Aircrafts, ships, boats. It's so alarming. Some of the in the country we know army is now poor man. We know that. But what is very much alarming is what to hear like aircraft. Where are those aircraft parking?
And Liberia said I get aircraft the whole country.
Why is it like after a ministerial job when you got aircraft? So we need to verify it. We cannot just speak now, but let it be verifiable. When it's verifiable, well, that is property. But it's so strange.
Okay.
That's like a...
Okay. Hello? Hello? 0770907-907. Let's take calls up to 515. 0770907-907. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, let's hear you.
All right, my name is Ronnie Mason, and I call you from Bomita David Bar. I just want to say thank you for the show. I started and listening to all of the discussion. Liberia is a country that we just have to pray.
Mm-hmm.
Because Liberia, with all of the activities that are going on, Liberia still remain poor. And even the holiday you're discussing about. Today, we just lost the day for nothing. Because if we could go to work today, you will get 20 for the day. But they say holiday. What are we going to get out of the holiday? So as you were just saying, it would be good for all of the holidays to be celebrated one day than the way they celebrate Christmas. It's just some of our everything they see them one day to celebrate. While our president wow, it be one day. Because the holiday will not carry on anywhere, will not develop the country. Thank you for the show.
Okay. Hello?
Yeah, hello sir.
Your name and where you come from?
Nick Montiel calling from the board of schools and respectively.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, I just listened to you concerning the asset declaration. I mean, the publishing of without asset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I follow you guys. Really, somebody is sending out that document. We have to do a fact finding, know whether it's true or the person is lying.
What do you call fact finding? The document that is out there, you say fact finding. I mean, you stop that thing, man. Okay, thank you ever so much. That's all the time for the call. Go to LACC and tell them that you have to do fact finding with the papers or about the papers the guys are submitting to you. What do you call fact finding? The man document, seal everything, the man's signature, everything that you say fact finding. The people putting their documents out, they're not hiding it. Then you say fact finding. You know what it's called fact finding or when you ought to do fact finding. Big yeah. What can I mean here? So yeah, here's the guy. They said fraud and corruption have plagued efforts to turn thousands of expropriated assets to their owners, with many still empty. Okay, yes. Thousands of abandoned properties seized. What is guy? Okay, I think I seen here the one the fellow talk about. Yes. Okay, I seen here it say valuable assets. But what's the guy? I saw his name just now. Yes, Kampala, Uganda. Okay, yeah. I think his name. Yeah. So yeah, that's true. And they have the buildings. Yeah, they have the buildings. Okay. Yeah.
With that building?
No. One of the callers referenced Uganda that they did a practical verification.
Oh, okay.
And they soon realized that he was ousted. Yeah, okay, yeah, abandoned property. Yeah, they have them. Yeah, look at them. So listen, Chief. One of you didn't believe it. When last have you heard LACC or asked LACC official to explain that word they often use in their document verification, what it means? As far as I know, and we've seen them doing, The verification is to assess the document. Assess the document to see as per their standard. That is my understanding as per LACC expression by the word verification. To assess and see. And we are convinced about that because when these people submit, we see the people going through, and the lady or the male responsible will run through, flip from one paper to another in the presence of the person, and then after that, in the presence of the person who declared his or her asset, will sign and give the person the okay. That yes, your papers are okay, your papers are intact. It is different. It is different from practical verification. LACC has never ever done anything called practical verification. What you have seen over the time is paper verification to see whether all of those papers presented are correct, which is right, you ought to go, but then you match it with the reality. It is how you fight corruption. It is how you know what the person coming in. It is how you're going to know whether the person is corrupting the system or not. It is how you're going to know how the person is getting out of government. Somebody can corrupt the system in a short period, and President Joe Biden dismissed the person. And then what happened? LACC will do nothing. You will only hear that the president dismissed XYZ person for administrative reasons. That man gone. That man gone. That house that he built in no time is for him.
For him, yeah.
LACC cannot go to that man because LACC just received paper. The man can say that this house here is what I put in the paper at this time, and you people verify it, and you people, they will be right. Because LACC did not go there to assess the properties, to take pictures.
To practically verify as to whether the person, what the person placed on the sheet.
They have not done it.
On that.
You asked the question, my dear brother, surprisingly. Let me tell you that true, because you portray it like you have not heard it before or it's not happening. Truly, 100%, LACC has not done, they're not doing anything called practical or proactive verification of these things the people submitting. LACC only receiving paper to file, the filing papers. They're not going beyond the papers they receive. When do I submit a document or 3 houses or 6 houses? It's not sufficient. Go there. In other countries, they have the practical access verification team to authenticate, yes, that these documents that the person submitted, they match the reality on the ground, or the reality on the ground match the document.
Document presented.
Beyond that, they will know if anything happening, that's how you will detect. But we have never ever attempted to detect anything because LHCC only received papers and then
if you complacent.
They put the paper
everything is done.
They put the papers in cabin. So what do you see happening now, Dra? Look at it carefully. Give it a careful attention. What you see happening now, the LACC is being bullied. That is what is happening now. The LACC is being bullied. We'll get to that. Let's pick up Isaac Jackson. Then we'll talk about the collaborating political party. But let me highlight it quick. This is what they said going to happen on the 15th. I don't know whether the collaborating political party still exists. CPP. But yeah, CPP. Yeah, what they said, and it is under the signature of Aloysius Stowe, Secretary General, CPP. It said, the collaborating political parties, CPP, hereby informs the public that in view of the expiration of the CPP framework document on April 10th this year, it will hold a press conference at the Alternative National Congress headquarters on Monday, April 15, at 11 a.m., during which time it will outline the CPP pathway moving forward. Okay, so
So they want to break the political marriage.
No, the
completely.
marriage already broken.
Okay.
No, already broken. This
So
is,
I mean, legitimately.
no, it's already broken. What you have is a makeshift. This is
Yeah.
a makeshift. It's already broken. They're not together again. Unity Party broke away. The
Liberty Party.
Liberty Party, that is intertwined. What's the other group?
The
All of
ANC.
them.
There were three?
No, ANC stayed there.
Yeah, there were three.
That one half.
The Liberty Party.
That one and half.
Yeah.
ANC as a whole, half Liberty Party. That's the CPP right now.
Ability.
Yeah, Ability, half Ability. Ability has a fashion.
Yeah.
Yomli Kanga has a fashion.
And Yoblin shift her fraction to
To
the Unity Party.
Ability. Yes. So the CPP that won and they have.
But as we
Liberian
stand,
lawyer,
from what I'm
just
sensing,
input that Liberian lawyer Isaac Jackson was calling from the state. I guess he wants to make his input. He's following the show. So yeah, Joyce, you can pick it up from there. Let me try to reconnect with him.
Yeah. So from what I'm sensing is that the press conference on Monday exclusively going to be about maybe their new, quote unquote, action to be taken on new development in the party, in how much they have officially broken tie with, all of the political parties they ever went into a political marriage with in the last 2023 election. I'm sure they will now have to be on their own instead of CPP, going to be ANC until another political party have a merger with them, but they're going to be CPP exclusively. So isn't a bad thing as well, because the CPP, they get together, the CPP was just a mockery, out of the ANC and all of the Liberty Party. It was just by...
Okay, Drat, yeah, thank you. Let me hold you there. Isaac Jackson is back on the line. Good afternoon, sir, and thank you for joining us following the show from where you are in the United States. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing very well. I'm doing very well, Andrew. Thank you for calling me. I'm very humble, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good as usual.
Oh, thank you. Glad to hear that. Let me say good afternoon, absolutely, to fellow citizens and friends of Liberia that are following your broadcast.
The last time I read about you, it was an indication that you are contemplating coming back to Liberia. You want to say something around that before we go to the specific issues?
Obviously, Liberia is our home and a glorious land of liberty. And I too come from the southern post city of Buchanan, where the nation hospitality began. So definitely I miss Liberia and I love to be back home. I believe those who are providing political leadership, some of them are woefully inadequate. For example, Brother Dillon. And so I think the people of Maserati County deserve a well-elected, well-seasoned, suit candidate to lead them, not a filthy liar like Dillon. Dillon was dismissed for stealing from B.W. Harris in 1993. Today, he cast himself as a moral crusader, even though he had let the people of Maserati County down. He cannot disclose his high school credential. He has been lying about his high school paper. And I think now is the time for Liberians who work assiduously hard, either educationally or whatever way, morally, to come and take the helm of power in the country.
Okay.
We can't have a flunky like Dillon to represent.
Okay, yeah, thank you, but that is not the issue. Yeah, soon you'll be home soon, rather. Let's begin with this topical issue in the country. The two houses have now gone down in history with the concurrence for a possible resolution for the setting up of the War Crimes Court in Liberia. You are a lawyer, a seasoned one, renowned. What is your position on it?
I am very clear about the coming of the War and Economic Crimes Court to Liberia. However, at this stage of our national discourse, we need to keep a nuanced conversation. I do not believe that those who ran, those who operated a death court in our country, like Prince Johnson, those murderous rapists who rampaged the country for 14 or more years, I do not think they should go with impunity. That being said, I take a point made in recent time by a justice on the United States Supreme Court, Justice Amy Coney Barrett, when the case of Trump removal from the Colorado ballot was heard at the United States Supreme Court, in Justice Amy Coney Barrett's concurring opinion, she cautioned this very powerful country, United States, to tame down the temperature in the country. That's why Amy Coney Barrett said, you know, America is the world superpower, right? But a Supreme Court on the United States bench, Supreme Court bench, a justice on the United States Supreme Court bench, Amy Coney Barrett, was calling on the Supreme Court of the United States to cool down the temperature. She said, removing Trump from the Colorado ballot, it will spell serious disaster for United States.
So what are you alluding to? What are you alluding to in Liberia's context?
What I'm alluding to is, you know, since Bouaka took over, Bouaka is presiding over a divided country. I thought the first effort would have been in at reconciling the country, taking care of what? The needs of the Liberian people, their welfare, poor people looking for food to eat. Today, Bouaka has abandoned the interests of the poor people. He himself seems to be wallowing in corruptible conduct. He is sidestepping the need of our people. He's focusing on things that is not a pressing priority. And it's a concern for me because I believe in the absence of peace, democracy will not flourish. In the absence of sustaining peace, democracy will not thrive. If democracy is supposed to have a fighting chance in Liberia, we'll put first thing first. Take for example, the first rule, according to Margaret Thatcher, the first rule, the first duty of any government is to uphold the law. Bouaka himself has not been able to uphold the law. Bouaka violated the code of conduct when he took power even before declaring an asset. The code of conduct says you should declare your asset before you take power. Bouaka violated that. Bouaka again is violating even the tenure law of our country. He is removing people who are in tenure position on a filthy and flagrant ground that some of these people will teach. But you cannot be the accuser, the person who will judge and then subsequently the punisher. The law doesn't work like that. You can't be accusing somebody of violating the law. You're the same person who accusing the president. You are the one passing judgment. You are the one punishing the president. If you say somebody will teacher, but when you want to move them, you got to carry them to the ombudsman. When the Bouaka appointed ombudsman just yesterday, so Bouaka committed sufficient wrong before he appointed a referee. These are not a good sign of governance. For somebody like Bouaka who claimed to have been in government for over 45 years, he is not convincing us that he well experienced. What he's demonstrating here is a lack of experience, and I think the Liberian people should stand up and tell Bouaka that he rolling the country in the ground. He putting our country in handcuffs and taking it to hell. We have to tell him to the face. So you need men with courage. You need men with courage. You need men with moral standing to go to the Senate and checkmate Bouaka from continuously violating our law and from dragging the country to hell.
Okay, Mr. Jackson. All right, sir. Even though that specifically wasn't the content of the question that I asked you, but it's all part of it. We'll get to Bouaka role. So are you saying that you aren't in support of the setting up of the court in Liberia or the concurrence of both houses of the legislature on that?
No, I am. Like I'm saying, I'm keeping a nuanced conversation, right? A nuanced conversation is not black or white. It's a gray area that we must thread. I'm saying, let's do first thing first. Look at Bwaka cabinet.
So in essence, in essence, you're saying that the War Crimes Court or the formation is not a priority, but it is germane, but it is not timely. It shouldn't be a priority.
That's the line I'm taking. The War Crime Court is important. We need to have it. I think murderers, rapists should not go with impunity. I think they should account for their sin. I think thousands of Liberian people bloodstained cry to heaven for justice. We need it. But what is our priority? So I bring back what Amiko Berry, right? The United States Supreme Court Justice. I bring back to the conscience of Mr. Bwaka. Mr. Bwaka is presiding over a divided country. What is his skill of preference? Is still a preference in economic way?
But why you putting this thing on Bwaka principally? Why Bwaka principally? Why?
But when the War Crime Court ambassador visited Liberia, she made public on one of the local radio stations that she has met with Bwaka. In fact, Bwaka has even drafted his own executive order for the war crime. He had expressed whatever support he did. I know today Prince Johnson has he himself crying like crazy. He believed Bwaka has betrayed him, and what Bwaka did do, which I found.
Is it true? You believe that? Do you believe that Comrade Bwaka betrayed him? Comrade President Bwaka betrayed him. You believe that?
You know, Bwaka did something that is dangerous. During the course of the campaign, for some of us who wanted our country to go in the right direction, we advised Bwaka against going into bed with Prince Johnson and some of the notorious murderers in our country. You know what Bwaka told us in reply? He said he would dance with the devil to get power. And I am concerned that his dance with the devil has created a respectable podium for people like Prince Johnson to argue to our people and say, look, we supported Bwaka thinking he was going to protect us, but he can't protect us, and Bwaka is a betrayer. You know, Liberia is not a very, like I said, it's not, our people will not be thinking too much. But if Prince Johnson, because you gave Prince Johnson a respectable podium, because you made Prince Johnson your de facto campaign manager, Prince Johnson cannot tell our people, say, Bwaka is a betrayer. And the Liberian people, many of the Liberian people will see Bwaka as a betrayer. Bwaka said he was going to dance with the devil to get power. Today, we don't know what's happening on the dance floor. The dance floor getting bloody. Prince Johnson is not happy, he's angry, right? You don't know what he's going to do. I am concerned about people making reckless or rash decisions that will plunge the country in another cycles of violence.
What do you mean? What are you referencing? Mr. Jackson, what are you referencing when you say the dance floor is getting bloody?
Brother, if your de facto campaign manager, Prince Johnson, this notorious murderer, if he is expressing displeasure, Prince Johnson has expressed his displeasure, not in private, in public. What do you expect? What do you expect?
You suspect something going to happen beyond that?
What's that?
You expect something going to happen, something going to come from Prince Johnson retaliatorily?
No, what I'm trying to say here is Bwaka should have been wise. He should have avoided this. He should not have given Prince Johnson a respectable platform to speak to our people and to give Prince Johnson the voice to call him a betrayer. If he had not gotten in bed with Prince Johnson like he did, Prince Johnson would not get the respectable podium that he got today to criticize him Bwaka and say, Bwaka is a betrayer. He betrayed me. You understand? Because if Bwaka really wanted to use some of his diplomatic skill, the skill that we all learned, he could still be dancing a delicate dance. Ellen danced that dance with the international community. George Weah danced that dance with the international community. Why is Bwaka not dancing that dance? Bwaka is still angry because Prince Johnson told him in time past that he was a sick man and that what Bwaka did to George Weah was ungrateful. You know, it was George Weah who paid Bwaka hospital bill. When that thing came up, Prince Johnson was very clear on the record and said, Bwaka, you are bad. Why did you treat this young man the way you did? Man, pay your hospital bill and you're going to treat him like this? So Bwaka, as you may well know, he is unforgiving. He is vindictive. He carries grudges for years. That's why he trying to pay Prince Johnson back the way he's doing. He's in a hurry to put Prince Johnson in handcuffs with chain on his waist and drag him to Accra, Ghana. That's what Bwaka wants to do. That's Bwaka doing this. It is Bwaka who is now trying. You saw what they did to Charles Taylor? Put handcuff on his hand, chain on his waist, and drag him to the head. That's what Bwaka wants to do to Prince Johnson. He wants to disgrace
so
him.
are you saying that everything is targeted at Prince Johnson?
I want to believe so, because he's been crying the last years. And we all know, even a 6-year-old child in Liberia, at least has read a little bit of our history and know that Prince Johnson murdered a president on camera, right, drinking Budweiser beer.
But he isn't the only person who participated in the war as warlords. There are too many around here. Thomas Yaya Nimle, George Bolle, and the rest of the guys. So it can be, you can portray it like the president is doing everything because of Prince Johnson. He wants to see Prince Johnson handcuffed, tried, and sentenced. What about the other guys?
The Tomo Nimle Yaya described Bwaka as ungrateful for his treatment of action towards President Weah. Tomo Yaya did not do that. But the point I try to drive home is, if you're talking about warlords, and if we have to put a degree towards a warlord, Prince Johnson comes in the front row, correct? Prince Johnson comes in the front row, right? Prince Johnson is the guy who murdered our former president, Doe, on camera, right, drinking Budweiser beer. All the other people you name, did they kill any president on camera? No. Were they accused of killing the norms? No. So, brother, all that I'm saying to you here is, yes, Tomo Nimle Yaya is part of the power. Boy Naked is part of the power. What about the K1? I understand Bwaka even invited K1 during the campaign, or K1 wanted to provide security for him. They are all part of the power, and they feel betrayed now that the man who they stood behind, thinking that he was going to have some diplomatic skill to navigate the international community to talk taxably, has not done so, has let them down. What would be their reaction? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. My conversation with you now and with the Republic is a nuanced conversation. I'm asking the Republic, I'm asking our citizens to say, look, what is our scale of preference? Our scale of preference should be ranking our priorities in order of their importance. Bwaka won an election with 17,000 votes different. He is running a divided country, a cabinet, not one opposition person in a cabinet. Even though Liberia is a small community, our private sector is not viable. Bwaka doesn't even have the common sense to say, look, I will promote what? An inclusive government, right? I will promote what? A unified government. Today, a cabinet is a what? It's a cabinet comprising of poodles, nodding dogs, no opposition voice in that cabinet. Is that how you run a country if you want to sustain democracy, if you want to consolidate democracy? Bwaka is a complete joke. A 45-year experience in government, he cannot show for it. Bwaka comes from a progressive background. Marcus Matthews' argument repeatedly in our country was what? The inclusion of opposition leader in the executive governance of the country. Where is the opposition in Bwaka cabinet? No opposition.
Is that what you term as divisive?
Oh yes. Bwaka promised we were going to put every county in the country will have representation on his cabinet. Do you have anybody from Grand Crew in Bwaka's cabinet? I don't know. You can check. You can do your homework. I doubt so. I doubt it. Today, Bwaka is just dividing money to remove the only man from Grand Crew who is sitting over there as speaker. Funati Kofa. Did you hear how you call it about? Yaka said that Bwaka divided money, illegal money, to remove Kofa. Kofa is a crewmate from Grand Crew, where former President Weah comes from.
Okay, Mr. Jackson.
Is everybody on Bouaka cabinet that come from Grand Crew? Or is there any opposition leader on Bouaka cabinet in Bouaka cabinet? No.
That is understood, Mr. Jackson. We don't have much time and we've got a couple of issues to talk about. And before we get to the 10U position, as per our discussion off air, what do you make of this Yeke representative, Yeke Koluba, rant against the president, before then former President George Weah, so much so that it has angered some of his colleagues? And one of them in Representative Emmanuel Down is now pushing for his colleagues to open an investigation which could lead to a possible expulsion, if not suspension.
You know, it's a crying shame. You know, what it's now trying to demonstrate is that even CDC were more democratic and supportive and respectful of free expression. You know, everywhere around the world, democracy encourages free expression. If you think Yeke says something that was not correct, you have your Minister of Information, you have your press secretary, they can go on the same radio and clarify and say, Yeke ain't talk true. You can't expel somebody or remove somebody from the legislature because they express a view that you don't like or use robust words to describe the president. You know, look, brother, I don't know why these people are so intolerant. You know, tolerant is what? It's not just accepting view, right? It's accepting the view that you don't like. Why Yeke has said, we may have problem with you know, yet they sat down over there, the same people sat down over there applauding Yeke. He said all sort of things about we are condoning. We are saying, no, this is democracy. I have to have thick skin. I have to absorb some of the angry people in this country. Yeke is not pleased with Bouaka's conduct. Yeke feel let down. He feel betrayed. He's frustrated. How does he express his frustration? He's supposed to be polite because of Bouaka he's dealing with. Oh, come on, stop that rubbish. This is a country. Democracy encourages free speech.
So was it right when we heard that the NSA would give him 24 hours to turn himself in? They notified the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Was that right for a certain lawmaker?
I think the NSA should do better than what it's doing. The NSA has a tarnished reputation in our country. And at this stage, if Bouaka thinks he wants democracy in a country and democracy encouraging free speech, he should not be investing energy in that NSA that has a tarnished reputation. That NSA has a terrible reputation. They used to, in fact, portion of the NSA used to operate a death squad in those Liberia. Is that where Bouaka wants to take our country to? Because Yeke expressed something freely that Bouaka is opposed to. He put NSA people behind and giving himself to our NSA should not be involved with democratic discourse. The NSA basically supposed to alert us to drugs coming into the country. Who bringing in drugs? The NSA work is supposed to be what security, clad in secrecy. And that's supposed to be going after people because they freely express themselves. So Bouaka is taking the country back to the PRC days, the Dole time, because Bouaka was a cabinet member in Dole government, dismissed for stealing from agriculture, right? So apparently people will do what they are open to, what they experience to, so if you work in Dole government, you were predisposed to some of the things Dole did, right? So you go back to the NSC, Dole time, NSA will come. When NSA came to your house in Dole time, you will finish. Is that what Bouaka trying to resurrect? Is it the ugly ghost that he's trying to resurrect? It's a shame that NSA people will be calling a lawmaker because he expresses his view. If they are opposed to the view, that the NSA give press conference, they will oppose to what Yeke said. That's why, look, democracy is about free expression. If they say corresponding responsibility, you can go there and criticize Yeke too. Go on the same radio, call your press conference, criticize him. Case closed. Why are you harassing him? Why are you using the organ of the state to intimidate the man for speaking out? Is it not true that Bouaka was dividing money over there to remove Kofa? Is the NSA interested in that? You think it's proper for the president to divide money to remove the speaker, to induce lawmakers to divide bribe? Is that a democracy? You think it's proper to do that? So Yeke said that. He put NSA behind him. You know these people trying to drag the country to hell again. It is time for Liberia to speak out, because when they set fire to our country, everybody will feel the heat.
Okay.
What you doing now, you're trying to set fire to the country because you want to protect Bwaka.
All right, Mr. Jackson, that is understood. Yeah.
NSA West should be about investigating how drugs coming in our country. The drugs, the guy who had the DEA now, he said he's frustrated because even inside of people in the security apparatus they are themselves for one of the drug dealers. They leaking information, they leaking the strategy. The NSA work is to investigate, find out who leaking information, how are we getting drugs all in a place. These are things that you concern yourself with. They are not politicians to be part of our political discourse. Yeke SSR free speech, and Yeke SSR free speech, you are displeased. Let your Minister of Information clarify what Yeke say. Let your Press Secretary clarify what Yeke say. Don't intimidate him.
Thank you so much. Let's move to the 10U position. We've got less than 10 minutes. I want you to take few calls. The 10U position, you seem not to be comfortable. You want to speak to that briefly?
You know, I think Bwaka has violated our law. And the last time I was on your radio, I don't know which other radio station I was on, I encouraged my friend Mike Gill and few of the people in the Senate to take a stand. Amara Kone has been repositioning himself, and I think he can take a stand. He condemned and criticized Bwaka's conduct at the NASCOP. You know, for a young woman to stand up for her right, Bwaka dismissed her. And Bwaka claiming to be a deacon. In which church a deacon will make a lady unemployed because she wants to stand up for her right? Bwaka kept Van Bamu in post only because Van Bamu financed Bwaka's last trip in 2017 to London. That's bribery. That's being susceptible to bribe. All that Bwaka tried to tell the Republic unwittingly is that Bwaka is susceptible to taking bribe. I was in London when Van Bamus and Bwaka flew to London. I saw Van Bamu bankroll that trip. Today, Van Bamu is still in post, and Van Bamu subordinate. Van Bamu subordinate a lady who took instruction from Van Bamu. It was our job. Is that the deacon? Is that how deacon operate? The Bwaka say it's a deacon?
This is no church thing. This is no church thing. It's purely politics, purely administrative.
But even if it's administrative, our country should stand up for the weaker vessel. Females are weaker vessel. How many of our women are employed in the country? You're going to make another woman unemployed because she stood up for right? Is that the Liberia you want us to support? Women should be empowered. We talk about women empowerment. Bwaka should be waging war against poverty. Is he waging war against poverty, or he making a woman unemployed because the woman say, "Yo, now move me, the Lord protect me"? Where is our country? Where is the country going on Bwaka? Is he sleeping on the steering wheel? Who running the country? Because Bwaka is not in excellent health. I warned the country during the campaign time that Bwaka will not do a brilliant job because he's in advanced age and he was not in brilliant health. What judgment? What justification can you give?
He's very vibrant now. He's very vibrant. He's very vibrant. You can see how he moves, how he conducts meetings. He walks to the mansion. He does a number of things physically.
But man, stop deceiving yourself. If you think somebody is very vibrant, a man who is vibrant will do proper scrutiny, proper vetting before he nominates people. The man just withdrew 3 nominees that he sent to the Senate. I think some of them were even confirmed or near confirmation before he had a second thought. What happened to Bwaka and his team doing their homework before they nominate people? He nominated 2 people to 1 job.
So he's the president. He's the president, but he's not fully in charge.
That's what I'm saying to you. So these lapses speak to cognitive impairment or cognitive frailty.
What is responsible for that? What is responsible for that that inept condition?
It's because he's in advanced age, and it is scientifically established that people in their age 80, they make all these kind of slippery mistakes. They are forgetful. How can you nominate 2 people to LRRC to head LRRC? How in this world you going to nominate people to serve as ministers, and then when they go for conference, then you pull them back and say, oh no, we made a mistake, we're not supposed to put them in the government job. But Bwaka, your team's supposed to be doing the proper vetting before you embarrass other people.
Okay, Mr. Jackson.
My friend Livingston, you put Livingston news and then you pull Livingston. But Bwaka, what are you doing?
Okay,
You don't run
Mr.
the country like this. So I'm saying to you, these are our pieces of evidence that we can show to our people that Bwaka is not in charge of our country as he should be.
All right, understood. Please hold the line. I want you to get few calls. My guest is Isaac Jackson from the United States. Let's take few calls. 0770907-907. Hello?
Hey, Mr. Andrew?
Yes, Mr. Jackson is listening to you.
Nehemiah calling from Brother City.
Let's hear you, Nehemiah.
Okay, when the end of the BLM, to that team, a country, for example, you can call it who all year is certain president we are. So it is today now, you got to know that. Yega is a room, eh?
Okay, thank you so much. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, what's your position to Isaac Jackson?
Yeah, man, I want to ask you a question. In our year, the speaker said more, I think yesterday on a press conference with one of my bro in the other representative. The speaker said that he not know anything about Baga giving anybody money to remove him. That's not reaching anybody get the photo for the war. 1 million removing him, be removed.
Okay, Chief. Thank you.
They may say that in the studio that.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah?
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Julius Andrews, and I'm calling from New Jerusalem, Louisiana Township.
Yeah, let's hear you. Mr. Jackson is listening.
Yeah. I listen to Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson, I think Joseph Newman Bwaka is on a rightful trajectory because not because other people feel, not to take the bull by the horn, especially with establishing a war crime code. We shouldn't make it look afraid that anything gonna happen. If you know that what you did during the war was professional, and you said you are defending your people, go and prove yourself. Because what with the box stuff, yes, the Liberian people need total resolution on the issue. So if you see that the old man is taking the bull by the horn, I think we all should applaud him and stop and denigrating him for his steadfastness in fighting corruption and pressure people have come for whatever they did.
Thank you. Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah?
My name is Jack Party. I call for Tuesday.
Let's hear you.
Okay, my issue, les UP government, I get very understanding. Les pour election, les environnements de la lose election. The past 6 years, when you get of course the president man, so the image the fuel in a country. You get qualified hero, go and get 10 kids to the soul, like you get a family. The 6 years, really, 6 years, point.
Okay. Hello?
Yeah, hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's hear you. Mr. Jackson is on the line.
Yeah, but so you see, the Amen brother, he continued to make these great mistakes, and people say he's on the right trajectory. How in the world your Ministry of State will dress up and go and take money and go to lawmaker, and then you say you don't know about it. The speaker did not tell anybody yesterday that we don't know about it. He said there are few lawmakers that you are seeing their coupon with.
Okay.
Right?
Hello?
Yes. Really?
Yes? You are Voice of Liberia 104.1 with me, Sam Andrews. Speak.
Yes, my name is Washington School, and I call from this bill. Let me appreciate Honorable Jackson. You see, Bwaka is trying to establish war crime. During the campaign, we saw him working along with all the warlords in this country. And everything those warlords did against Liberians during the just ended campaign, those instructions came from Bwaka. So Bwaka himself has also committed a crime against the Liberian people.
Okay. Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Yes? Your name?
Yeah, the name is Sam V. Dam, Johnny from Johnson Village Building. And good evening to my senior brother. You see, I want to commend my senior brother. You see, we continue to flag the issue. We knew that our old man, brother, will continue to make a mistake until the 6 years can elapse. So, the sooner is better. That's what I told the Reverend we will manage our expectations. We are not going to manage no expectation. We will continue to flag the issue. And if it calls for protest will continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling. Have a nice day. Mr. Jackson, you can respond to the few calls.
You know, I kind of deal with. I want to deal with this guy very quickly. You know, the young man who said Bwaka, you know, is fighting corruption. Bwaka is not fighting corruption. Bwaka is promoting corruption. He creates an atmosphere for corruption to flourish in a country. When Bwaka brings back into the fold of the government people who are deemed to be notoriously corrupt. For example, Daniel Johnson is on the American government radar for stealing American NGO money. And Bwaka just appointed him into government. There's another guy who used to be at Water and Sweat. Ellen dismissed him. I think the guy is out of Japla. That guy Bwaka just appointed him into government. So if Bwaka say he really wants to fight corruption, he's not bringing back into government people who are deemed to be corrupt. So that young man is misguided. The Bwaka say he wants Walker code, all kind of code. But Bwaka just appointed, nominated, confirmed the man who orchestrated the violence in Lofa County. The Internal Affairs Minister was accused of orchestrating violence in Lofa County. Bwaka appointed him Internal Affairs, or even investigation. The man who is now the deputy RGB was accused of shooting in the CDC compound. And Bwaka made him deputy RG, secretary, deputy inspector general. So Bwaka is promoting violence, he's encouraging corruption. Now, on the issue of my friend Yeke Koluba, these people are engaging in blatant, broad day hypocrisy. Is it not the Bwaka government that not prosecute the case that Sister Julie Andy took to the court against Prophet Key? Are you saying Prophet Key said nice things about Julie Andy? Oh, you want to protect your own man who can cause, but you say you cannot talk true.
All right, Mr. Jackson, we've out of time. We've out of time. I will find time to bring you on again. Time is of the essence. We've got to go for the news. Thank you, sir. Okay, that was Liberian lawyer Isaac Jackson on the line from the United States following the show and decided to call in to make his input. What time is of the essence? And this is how the show recess for this week to return afresh on next week, Monday. By God's will. Draw?
Yeah, okay, we got to appreciate all of our regular followers, our callers who participated on the show on today. We hope that we'll be here again on Monday, as you said. Today, Friday, and exclusively, it is for what it is. I've been Edwin Melfinjua. Let's hope that we meet again on Monday.
Okay, so everything going to be on Monday. Have a nice weekend. Enjoy yourself. But let it be at moderation. Sam Andrews, we out.
Don't trouble nothing too much, you know.